Hello and welcome. This is the Siberian here, and today in our Total War talk, we are going to discuss how CA and Total War go for the wrong kind of satisfaction in their games. Now, all games and all types of media in the entertainment industry are going for satisfaction. They're going for an emotional high that will draw the viewer back again and again to get more sales or more repeat viewership. Now, strategy games, I would say, go for three specific kinds of satisfaction. Namely, those are, number one, a strategic or tactical satisfaction. That is the type of satisfaction that you get when you beat someone else in multiplayer in Total War, or when you outmaneuver or outflank an enemy, when you use superior tactics to defeat your foes. That is the emotional high. That is one type of emotional high that strategy games can aim for. The second is the satisfaction of spectacle. Now, this is when you just want to take a break, a pause, and just look at how cool, how epic this thing you're watching is. Just think of those grand scenes, all the cinematics that have been made from Total War games, and that is what you get. That is the spectacle of a strategy game. And that is satisfying. You want to come back and do it again and see it more and new and bigger and better. But the third type of satisfaction for strategy games is the great man fantasy. Namely, the great man fantasy, the easiest way to describe it is the idea that you can raise up, being from just you're an average ordinary dude and you can become someone great, that you can lead a nation that's normal and ordinary and equal to the others and make it into an empire that spans the globe. That is the great man fantasy. And all these are types of satisfaction for strategy games. Historically, Total War has nailed these. In fact, they usually have been most of the Total War games of the past are a blend of these. Where, as in Shogun 2, you have a lot of spectacle, beautiful battles, very intense tactical combat where units are very much the same and it relies on the player to win in combat. But also you have this grand arcing story where you can make your small tribal, or not tribal, but make your one clan become the Emperor of China. Become the Emperor of Japan. Oh man. That is a great example of balancing all three of these types of satisfaction so that the game has so much to offer. And I think that is one reason that Shogun 2 has remained so popular. The same can be said for Medieval 2, even Empire, which although has bugs and issues, still has a huge player base because it spreads out the player's satisfaction amongst all three of these types of satisfaction. The issue I see with modern Total War is that they are becoming more and more unbalanced. That instead of balancing the satisfaction across all three categories, satisfaction now is primarily in the second, that is spectacle. I get the sense, now I have to be honest, I have not bought a Total War game since, I did get Thrones of Britannia on a sale. That was the last one. So I have not played many of the newer Total War titles. But from what I've watched, what I've seen and heard, and from the reviews I've watched on YouTube, I get the sense that people either really enjoy like the over-the-top elements, or they do not enjoy and they find something lacking in the simplification and the streamlining of the game in general. And there has been so much discussion on the state of Total War in 2020 or 2021, and I'm sure that will continue. But I think looking at a step lower, what is the motivation? What brings people back? And it seems as if Creative Assembly believes that what is bringing people back to their games is the spectacle. That's why they push for single entity units. Single entity units do not provide a strategic satisfaction, and they do not provide a great man satisfaction because they are already great. The great man satisfaction is making somebody ordinary into somebody great, whereas single entity units are already these overpowered entities. And so that leaves just the one satisfaction type left, which is spectacle. And yes, single entity units do spectacle well. And I have no problem with single entity units creating spectacle. I think Warhammer does that well. I have the first Warhammer. I didn't ever get the second. I won't get the third. Just not interested enough. But I do think single entity creates that cool spectacle factor, that cool and epic factor in the game. But the issue is spectacle is short-lived. Spectacle gets old really quickly and must be replaced with new spectacle. That is why we have a new Total War game every single year. Total War games no longer have the replayability that they once had because they're so focused on what you are seeing on the screen, how beautiful the scenery or the combat or cool and epic the characters are, that they have lost the other forms of satisfaction. So the fundamental problem is that spectacle always has to be new or else it loses its satisfaction. And yet this is the type of satisfaction that CA is pursuing. This is not even helpful for them as a company, as spectacle is more expensive to produce and last a lot less. And so, if by some miracle some CA staff members watch this video, my encouragement would be consider how you can increase other forms of satisfaction. Now, I'm fine with increasing the satisfaction from spectacle, and that should increase with every single game. But you cannot do that at the expense of a tactical or strategic satisfaction, because what we have in the modern Total War is a lack of multiplayer, a lack of tactical decision making, strategic decision making, that cuts a whole third of the satisfaction element that it could have. And CA, consider how you can tell the story of the great man. Don't give me a hero that's pre-made. Let me make the hero. That is why people come back to the older Total Wars still to this day. Because yes, the graphics are terrible on Medieval 2. Like, it does not stand up at all. The camera controls are awful in those older games. And yet they nail the strategic and the great man satisfaction so well, and that is what creates a long-lived game. So I know there's a lot of talk about, oh, super games or what that's gonna be. I don't give a rip. I think CA needs to look at, take a serious self-evaluative look and ask themselves, are we nailing all three types of satisfaction? And I think That is what would make a great Total War game. Anyways, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. I'm sure this will be an interesting discussion. And if you like the video, hit the like, consider subscribing, and I will catch you all on the next video. Until then, bye.